Today we will talk about word problems that involve fractions and mixed numbers. Let's review how we read fractions and mixed numbers first. Remember when you saw a fraction such as this, you say the numerator, which is 2, and then the denominator, you read it as, in the order form in English, 2/3, and then when the numerator is plural, you put an S. Let's do another one. This one is 2. The order form of 11 is 11th. Okay, since this is plural, 2/11ths. A special one is this one. We don't go 1/2, we go 1, and this one is a special one, half. Let's say I have this one. You do the same thing, 3, and this time it's plural, 3/2. When you had exponents such as this, something to the 0th power, when that something is not 0, that's always 1. But remember I warned you about that one? And when you had the 0 exponent only belonging to the numerator, you get 1/3. You can also have this version. 3 to the 0th power is 1, so the answer is 2. Another one you need to watch out for is when your numerator is 0, the answer is 0. But when the denominator is 0, the answer is undefined. And that also goes for 0/0, which is undefined. And that also goes for anything that looks funky like this. That cannot really happen. All right. Now let's go review the word table. And when you see these words, they imply a couple of things. Yields is equal, for example. Decrease by is subtraction. Double means you multiply by 2. Triple means you multiply by 3, and so forth. So I gave you that, and you can practice with that. I'll go straight to the examples. Let's say I have something that says 2/3 increase by 5. 2/3 increase by implies an addition. So this is the same as 5 and 2/3 if you remember what the mixed number meant. 3 times 5, 15, plus 2, 17/3. Either answer will be okay. How about 2/3 decrease by 1/3? Decrease by implies a subtraction. You simply subtract. How about this one? The sum of 2 and 2/3. Sum of, that means you're adding. 2 and 2/3. What does that mean? It just means the whole number 2 and 2/3, which means 8/3. The difference of 2 and 1/3. What's that mean? The difference of 2 and 1/3. Remember how we did that? Now you can borrow and make this one like that. 3 minus 1 is 2/3. So you'll end up with 1 and 2/3. Now, some of them might be a little bit more complex. The quotient of what? The sum of 2 and 3 and 1/3. Let's do that. Quotient of means division. Sum of what and what? 2 and 3 and 1/3. So what do? This problem is the same as 5/1 times 3/1, which is 15. How about if somebody says 1/3 less than 2/3? Less than, that means this one is going to come after. 2 minus 1, 1/3. How about 1/3 more than 2/3? 2/3 more than means you're going to add. This one is 3/3, which is the same as 1. The sum of the difference of 2/3 and 1/3 and 3. You have to find out which end belongs where. I would start from the inside out, the difference of 2/3 and 1/3. So what does that mean? The difference of 2/3 and 1/3. Now, it says the sum of that and 3. Okay, rule of order of operations tells me you have to do the parentheses first. 2/3 minus 1/3 is 1/3. And I'm supposed to add 3 to it. Oh, look at this. This is the same as mixed number 3 and 1/3. You're going to be doing a worksheet that's similar to this, so let's practice. An area of a square that has a side 2 1/2. The area of a square is 2 1/2 times 2 1/2. Now I need to change this into an improper fraction. 5/2 times 5/2, which is 25/4. And the unit is going to be meter square. Let's do another problem. 2/3 added to 3/10. 2/3 is going to be added to 3/10. That's a problem that involves unlike fractions. So let's match the denominators, which is 30. You're going to end up with 9/30 plus 20/30, and that will give you 29/30. And this one doesn't have units. 1/3 subtracted from 3/7. What does that mean? You're going to subtract 1/3 from 3/7. You need to match the denominators. And how about this one? You're going to end up with 9 minus 7/21, which is the same as 2/21. Quotient of 9/5 and 3/10. 9/5, quotient of. Okay, what do I need to do? 9/5 stays the same. You take the reciprocal of the denominator, and let's start simplifying. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. And this problem just became 6. Let's look at a problem where we say the balance after a check of 15/3 is written in an account that had $20. Probably you'll never hear this in real life, but for the sake of practice, we are going to do it. All right, the balance after a check of 15/3 is written. So that means you have to subtract 15/3 from 20. You can do this two ways. Let's assume I'm going to do it this way and then multiply top and bottom by 3. So you're going to end up with 60/3 minus 15/3. 60 minus 15 is 45. And 45/3 is simply $15. And make sure that if you're answering a money problem, you just put down the units that correspond to that. Okay, how about this one? 3/4 increased by 2/10. 3/4, and that's in the passive tense. Increase by means add 2/10. Well, you can just change this to 2/10 is the same as 1/5. And that makes the numbers a little bit smaller. So let's multiply and get the equivalent fractions so that we can match the denominator. You end up with 15/20 plus 4/20, which is 19/20.